And then they were like, no, that's for you. And I went, oh. Well, no, it's like a peek on a perfect weekend because this was just absolutely, like, a whole lot of people saw me in the full armor yesterday, and it was nothing but kind words.
Very nice, by the way.
Standing ovation when I first showed up, and I was, I almost wet myself. I think I might just have to take a minute and just praise everybody who is still here, especially because I know that there's a lot of people who stayed today on Sunday just to come to this panel. And you, hands everywhere. So, I guess I'll try and remember where to start.
Overwhelmed.
This
Shell
panel
shock,
is
yeah.
spoiler friendly, so
Yeah.
if you have not played Dream Drop Distance, be ready for it to be spoilers.
Or if you don't want to hear the spoilers, then, you know.
There's lots of people.
There's only 50,000 other people.
Sitting in my player.
Oh, I don't even care, man. I'd still play it even if I heard spoilers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure I know everything, so.
I was even going to start now. You've completely flubbed everything in my mental capacities right now. Where would we want to start? Does anybody have a preference? We've got topics of worlds, the different realms, the geography of them, how they are, the realm of sleep, the different types of beings, heartless on versus nobodies, how that all works together and weaves together and makes different characters.
I think it would be fun to start off with the 3 types of beings and just clarifying questions on those, because I know they can be kind of confusing.
They can be very confusing, and this was something that we got into a topic of in the hallway discussion yesterday. Is that Kingdom Hearts its plot is very patchwork at times, and if you really think about it, really it's just more good at manipulating its own science than anything else, and to the point where it's scary sometimes. That like the things that Nomura has thought of, and you think, well, that doesn't make sense until I stop and think about it. And then it makes a lot of sense, and it makes me mad. And especially with Terra. Terra is a bastard to Kingdom Hearts logic. As you see here, we have Terra, and I really wish I had like a laser pointer or a stick or something.
There we go. Awesome. Yeah. Woo!
Applause for the sword.
Sword, we love you.
What is this made of?
Foam cardboard and toaster.
Pure awesome.
Same stuff people play though.
It's made of awesome and pimp.
Awesome.
So, as you see, right here, Terra.
Terra.
Terra. That was easy. Her idea.
Did you like magnify that? That sounds a lot louder.
No, I think there's enough people here that know that when I do this, that was easy. Like it's spread far enough that people know that when the button gets hit, it's time to listen. And we were discussing, because I've got this one and I don't have batteries in it, we were talking with my young Master Xehanort over there. Option A, the sound effect for when they armor up, or Rick Astley's never going to give you up.
You decide.
Love you. Anyway, here's Terra, full being, as we know him, in the beginning as of 10 years prior to the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1. And then comes that a-hole Xehanort.
What are you doing? Get out of here.
Get it.
And we get
He's so
to,
proud of himself.
And we get to the separation of where everything starts coming in. Heartless, which Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1. That's what happens to a corrupted heart. The body is left over and creates a nobody. Now, they don't really mention, it's mentioned in one of the reports what happens to the soul, which is like an unsung hero of this entire thing. The soul is what gives the nobody the ability to get up and move and do things. It's mentioned in just one report and that's it, and it's very easy to glance over. However, since everybody here has played Birth by Sleep,
Yes.
yes, anybody not?
Yeah.
You. I'm gonna tell you what happens at the very end of the game.
Yeah! Cover your ears.
Earmuffs. Master Xehanort takes his heart and throws it at Terra. And it corrupts Terra's body. It consumes it. However, it is his soul that is then giving the nobody of Terra's body, Xemnas, the ability to get up and move, wander about, do things, be an a-hole, and treat the Kingdom Hearts and lie to everybody that we think is cute, and great yaoi pairings in the organization. Terra's soul is untouched, and is so strong at the betrayal and the things that Master Xehanort did, that it is the only soul that we've seen so far that has the ability to strike off on its own, create its own embodiment, and still function as its own being. The lingering sentiment that you fight in the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 is not Terra. It is Terra's soul.
Ow, by the way.
Right? Oh, hang on, it gets better. Because I've got one of these. Terra, Xehanort, Ansem, Xemnas, Xehanort.
I just
Little
meant
mathematical symbols and.
I just meant the boss fight.
Terra,
Oh, I thought you were
sentiment.
talking about how this hurts brains.
No, it hurts me physically, that boss fight.
The lingering sentiment?
Yeah.
What a dick. Well, if we're going to talk about boss fight that suck, it's.
It's a close second. A close
I
second.
would say that.
Nope, I would say that.
The unknown is much more.
A close second for me.
You hurt me.
I'm getting you off topic.
And I was like, yeah, you're a prick, but okay. And then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got you really off topic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
After Birth by Sleep and like the fight and everything, is he the soul of Terra? Why is he just sitting there? Like, is it still?
That's really just kind of theory and hypotheses that we in the fan base can make, because that's not addressed. However, if you get to play Final Mix Plus and you're Sora fighting the lingering sentiment, it all takes place in the Keyblade Graveyard. Without a body or a heart, the only thing I can really assume is that it doesn't have the ability to get up and wander too far from the spot it was created on its own power. All the emotions that created it are localized to that area. That's where the fight took place. That's where everything happened that turned Terra into the lingering sentiment. It's where all of his rage was. I don't think that it has the ability to travel anywhere else.
Basically, it's haunting the graveyard.
Yes, it's a ghost in the graveyard.
I was going to say the one line that backs that up is when, in that dialogue, that little tiny touch of dialogue beforehand, he's the lingering sentiment says, "All I have left is my hatred for Xehanort." That's all he has. So that's not a lot to go on to then do things such as Xemnas could, because that
and I
is
think if anybody watches Supernatural, all this is a classic case of the supernatural poltergeist. All it is rage, and that's the only reason that it exists anymore. Yeah, which is going to segue into another whole Terra thing that I have later. Yes.
In Hearts 3D, didn't they kill Sora killed Sun? And so then doesn't that mean the heart, the soul, and the body can go back together?
Xemnas kind of just disappears. Like, he's in the last section of the scene where Master Xehanort actually shows up.
Yeah.
He has the gathering of the 12 vessels actually.
Bye.
And they just kind of go back to their own time zones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like they lost their opportunity.
It
They all
looks
wanted to
like
skither off.
dream's over.
Right.
Back.
My own personal theory / headcanon is that Sora smacked him so hard he temporarily went back to his own timeline. So that's all I got. He literally knocked him into a previous week.
Like the last animation when he actually disappears, like he's falling backwards, and then he just kind of, it's almost like, I call it drifting instead of actually going through the corridors of darkness.
I like that.
It's basically just like these black straight lines, like Zigbar does it when he vanishes it first off, when he's literally teleporting. Like, all the nobodies are able to do it, like Larcene does it a shit ton in her fight. It's basically just portaling to another spot, so he basically up and left before he could take any more damage, because Xemnas needs to be there for the end game. Yes.
Because I was gonna say, again, like whenever later on when Master Xehanort actually pops up, when, again, spoiler madness, but
No, let him fly.
yeah, when he come at the end when Sora's all like whatever in the chair and Riku comes to rescue him, all of them come back, including Xemnas after he already beat him.
No.
So it's like, bam, he just knocked them back to whatever, because that was technically in that dreamception-y madness that was going on. So Sora beat him, and then he was back in all the chairs with everybody else. So it was one of the vessels just back.
Yep.
Who wants to see a really big mind bender?
Everybody does.
Whoa.
Look at all the Norts.
So many Norts.
So many Nords.
All the different
Xehanort, Terranort.
So yes, again, Terra, as we know him. Master Xehanort, as he's an old geezer, as we know him.
How come I'm not those? I need one. Oh,
Yes, Spock. Hey, because we're not going through time. I'm trying to keep it.
Go.
So yes, original 2 equals Terranort
Terra.
slash Xehanort, the apprentice. They do all kinds of experiments. Heartless Ansem, Seeker of Darkness. Also Xemnas, the superior.
Equals.
Where's Terra in that?
So basically,
Remember, he's in the armor.
Everybody.
He's the armor. Yeah. If they redid that equation, it would be the armor.
I'm not going to really, because
Poor guy's the armor.
the whole thing I explained last time, where it was his heart and soul inside his body, then split in 2, this whole thing, into a heartless and a nobody, again, body and soul of this guy, which then recreates Master Xehanort in the end. Now, the thing that is missing from this equation,
What happened to Terra?
What happened?
It's Terra.
what happened to Terra's heart?
What happened to Terra?
What happened to Terra's heart? Because, as we saw, his heart was locked in here with Xehanort.
What happened?
Then he split into a heartless and a nobody, which then reformed into Master Xehanort.
Yes.
Why did it not reform Terra as well? Yes.
My theory is that, like, when he split into a heartless and a nobody, Master Xehanort, that Terra's heart, when they split, maybe escaped into the world of darkness somewhere. Like he's trapped in the darkness somewhere. Like he's just stuck there.
Could it be because Terry's soul isn't involved in the equation? It's like everybody.
Good face.
So honestly, it's not really gonna. You don't think it's really gonna reform that is, and it's gonna reform the pretty younger looking Terra. You're welcome.
Aww.
Cinderella all over again.
Yeah.
RTP, what?
Check him out, kid. But no, and this does bring up a point. What did happen to Terra's body and his heart? Well, they still exist. We know that because up before this, these were still a thing. Maybe Terra's body is just kind of laying there without a soul. Much like Ben is comatose in the room of sleep.
Yeah.
What about Master Ericus and how he's in there too?
That is something we have less information on. Again, just more fan theories and hypotheses. You had an interesting one when we were talking on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was kind of something we glanced over. And this goes back into the whole, the 12 different portions of Xehanort.
Yeah, so many.
Yeah. And,
I don't remember.
aw, shame.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I got your back.
Ericus has the whole issue with his armor.
He's got scars.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah. So does Bryce.
Yeah, exactly my point.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
There's a theory floating around that Ericus might be one of the vessels.
Oh.
And then again, this goes back into the whole patchwork of Kingdom Hearts plotline. Way back in Kingdom Hearts 1 was a bastardization and amalgamation of different concepts that I don't think anybody at Disney and anybody at Square Enix thought would work. It was
Let's try it.
I know, God.
yeah, and it was like Disney and Final Fantasy. No, I see you. We'll get to in a second. I just don't want your hand to get tired. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now we know everything.
Yes, it's all been spoilers. But the first Kingdom Hearts game was kind of standalone in its own concept. I don't know if there was really much of if there was really much of an idea that they would for sure follow up on it, even though it was wide open for a sequel, because they didn't know if it was going to work. And Tetsuya Nomura has said in Kingdom Hearts 2 is when he started coming up with the overarching plot. You see that when you first meet the organization members. Zigbar, Cydex. Only 2 of the entire organization members that have pointed ears, yellow eyes, scars. Later on in the series, like 4 games later, it becomes very, very, relevant why they all have yellow eyes and pointy ears and facial scars. Because that is how Master Xehanort is tagging all of the different bodies that he will one day inhabit.
I'm watching your chest.
Oh, okay. Smart ass. So, and Ericus has scars also.
Oh.
Xehanort gave it to him.
Oh.
Yeah, and so this is one of
Horcruxes, seriously. Living Horcruxes.
Didn't make enough. I just need a lot more.
His heart, and even if Sola is separated from him, and also Ventus doesn't have his heart, would they need nutrition to survive the 10 years they've?
I don't think so, because a lot of this has to do with it's a very magical realm.
Time probably moves differently.
This is the realm where you have an oversized key and you hit something with it, and it doesn't necessarily get a concussion. It's very much magic-oriented damage. I think that when bodies and hearts become susceptible to these kind of circumstances, that normal things like having to eat or drink or go to the bathroom,
Age too.
also age,
Yes.
I mean,
which
Aqua's
is very,
been walking
very.
around for 10 years.
yeah.
And
She's still smoking hot.
Time could.
She's all right.
She got like dented.
God, I love
ass.
Yeah, no, Aqua's doing just fine. Yes, it's a standing ovation for Aqua. Woo, Aqua. No, and I don't think that really applies to him, because at this point, Ventus has been sitting in that chair for, maybe
12 years?
About 12 years.
About 12
And
years.
He still looks the same as he did when he first sat down in it.
Poor guy.
Up until
That makes sense.
he disappeared.
Yep.